Amen.
The East African Legislative Assembly members have pointed to 2 cases of misuse of resources in the East African community for which the accused are yet to be held accountable. Paul Musamali, an East African Legislative Assembly member from Uganda, singled out a case in which an accounting officer from the Kiswahili Commission forged letters of invitation to attend a non-existent meeting on the budget process of the Assembly in Nairobi. Musamali says action is yet to be taken against the accounting officer.
When we were in Nairobi, we were not handling any budget. Now this officer has held the commission at ransom, has refused to pay service providers because the executive secretary has refused to clear the DSA, which he wants to earn fraudulently.
Another instance raised on the floor of the Assembly in Arusha concerns the procurement of $1.3 million by the Lake Victoria Basin Commission without the approval of the Council of Ministers. According to the lawmakers, grants are the most abused with little or no accountability given on how they are used.
Grants is largely spent through consultancies. Right, Honorable Speaker, there's a huge amount of hemorrhage that go through consultancies. Interestingly though, from our own oversight experience with all these institutions, there has been centralization in the identification of consultancies.
In March, the members of the East African Legislative Assembly accused the former Secretary General of the bloc, Dr. Peter Mathuki, of being involved in some of these irregular practices, but he denied.
These are new evidence that I wish to lay before this House in prosecuting the case.
On issues to do with mismanagement of funding, I've had an opportunity to go through a few documents through my own sources. It is terrifying.
Request the Committee on Legal, Rules and Privileges to conclude this activity before April.
The lack of punitive measures against the wrongdoers has been blamed for breeding impunity among the staff in the different institutions of the regional bloc.
Are behaving the way they are behaving because they have identified that there is a huge weakness within this community when it comes to implementation of the Assembly's recommendations.
There are no sanctions. The legal framework to put punitive measures on the misconduct of the behaviors of the staff or the chief accounting officers of those votes. There is no law.
The members argue that these cases of corruption would have been controlled if a law passed in 2021 had been assented to by the heads of state. Recommendations have now been made to the Council of Ministers to provide for punitive measures.
Request the Council to take serious measures on leaders and the staff from our community who misuse the funds of the community. We badly need a strong sanctions regimes in this community.
Restoration of discipline and respect for the legal procedures and ensuring timely remittances of contributions by the partner states is one of the challenges the new East African Community Secretary General Veronica Mweni Nduva has to confront during her tenure. Jackson Onyango, NTV, in Arusha, Tanzania.